Hey, hey. Actually, I forgot to. There you are.
Here I am.
Here he is. And it's the moment everyone's been waiting for. Goddamn. Cool. Welcome to the stream. This is the last one, which means we definitely have everything figured out. This will not be chaos.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, this is good. Let's see what I have. Bringing in the peaceful background music this week.
Nice.
Welcome to guided meditations with Sam and Irk. It's like we're regular Hall & Oates. Yeah, man, we're starting off strong with some subs already.
Oh hell yeah!
Welcome,
Thanks,
folks.
champion.
And I am Dan Skinny has just subscribed, just in case you didn't know who he was.
Nice.
And he says thank you. Is all he has to say. So thank you. This is going great. Cool. All right, yeah, looks like we got a couple more folks just joining us now. After the yeah, can I scroll? There we go. Yeah, Myth Raster. After these, what am I going to do every Thursday at 6? Well, funny you should ask, because we're actually looking to keep this party train going, or whatever you want to call what it is we do here. And I think next week we'll start just branching out and doing some more stuff outside of just Luminaria things. I think James actually expressed some interest in maybe playing through some songs on his setup and like talking about some of the parts. He and I can hang out and guide you through some of that. I even thought it might be fun if I helped him tweak some like drum mix stuff for his stream while he's doing that. And just, more excuses to talk about music. I had another friend of ours hit us up on Instagram as well about like some production lessons, seeing if I offer those over Zoom or whatever. And I was like, at the moment, I don't really, I haven't been doing that, and I don't really have the bandwidth, but it might be fun to just like do like a production breakdown of like someone else's track on stream for like 2 hours and tell them what they could do better. Yeah, if my opinion about stuff is worth anything to anyone. I can't scroll on these. There we go. I tried to upvote some more subs to the stream and ended up just posting champions yoink to the chat. There we go. This is fun. I just need to leave this music playing while we fall asleep on the stream. The next pass of Aviation's music to sleep to. But for the 11 or so folks who are here, welcome. Make sure you're in our Discord. And make sure you're checking out merch stuff, which, by the way, we'll be sending out a big old mass email, if Adam hasn't done that already. Just letting everybody know that the vinyls are still in production, but the rest of the merch for pre-order stuff is in and ready to be shipped. We're just waiting on some like technical things to be finished up with our like shipping provider thing. I'm hoping this is like the last time we have to wait for this many parts of the process, now that we have like our own website and our own like shipping stuff and whatnot. James is in the house. What's up? Let me get this off screen.
Classic
there we go. Classic
James.
yo. This is solid. What's good, everybody? I'm getting all the house favorites on the highlighted chat right now. Champion's just cheering. Champion's like, don't bore us, get to the session. But yeah, that's the brief merch update. It's in, except for vinyl, and if you ordered a vinyl, we're trying to ship everything at once, so you'll have to wait, unfortunately, for all of it to come in one package with the vinyl, which at the moment, as far as I know, is looking really, really cool. And we'll have more updates on that in the next like couple weeks, I think, before the holiday. But Yeah, man. We're also working on a couple other things that, maybe if you're interested, you might be able to add to your order, and we can possibly ship those together too if you are so inclined once those come out too. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop on over. I'll like fade this music down or something. Man, I really got to make the meditation version, but we are now in DAW land. Cool. But as usual, Eric, I'm gonna put you on the spot first and say, how you doing?
Let's do it.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I took my nephews to the fair last week, so I had to miss this. But
Oh, that's what they're calling it now. Okay.
yeah, I went on some sketchy rides that were put up in 8 hours by people who were most likely on amphetamines, but it was fun, man.
You're like, this thing I'm riding was on the interstate an hour ago.
Yeah.
I think that's a Nate Bargatze joke.
Yeah, I didn't die. It was good though. It's a good time.
That's solid. It's good to reconnect with family, everybody. We're here for your life lessons. And I'm just messing around. But yeah, Blink. The song that I'm definitely not going to call by its working title at least 8 times during this stream, but everybody already knows. I called it by the right title there, right, Blink? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. As I said that, I was like, I do that thing all the time where my brain will just like switch out whatever it is my mouth is actually saying. But yeah, this track I have some early memories of, I think. How about what are yours?
Earliest memory of the song?
Yeah.
Probably that tour we did in 2018. Just hearing it in Guitar Pro, like James playing it in the van. It's probably the earliest version I've heard of it. Just that main riff.
Yeah, man.
And then, yeah.
I feel like I'm getting songs mixed up. I'd like, we'd have to find a Guitar profile, because as those of you who have seen these streams before, I think you know for the most part that a lot of our music gets kickstarted by James in Guitar Profiles, that transcription software that we also have available for you guitarists in the chat. We have some guitar tabs on our website and Bandcamp that are, available with the producer pack as well. So you can get the stems that you're actually hearing now, or will be hearing shortly with the transcriptions. But yeah, this being a song that also started in Guitar Pro, I feel like this was one, and James will have to correct me if I'm wrong, he probably doesn't even remember either, when we were living together in Boston, like 2014, towards the end of our time there at Berkeley. I remember a Guitar Pro file just labeled melody, and it was like basically like piano vibes and drums, or maybe it was like vibraphone and drums or something, and it was this like motif that, so like I'm pretty sure this idea is really freaking old, is what I'm saying. Like, it's been around a while. Hey, and as we say that, Mifraster, I'm gonna say that right at least once in the stream, gifting the subs out. Damn, hell yeah.
Thanks, brother. But so James wrote the main theme of this.
Yeah, and then Richard? of course, Richard brought it to life with the it being another 16th note repeating, like very arpeggiated, like sequencer type melody versus like a syncopated rhythmic thing. It's just like constantly going. But Richard.
Oh, so James wrote the syncopated melody, and then Richard wrote the. Okay, I see.
Oh no! I'm just saying, like in general, Richard brings those kinds of ideas that are in Guitar Pro as just like 16th notes with little syncopations in there. He brings them to
Brings
life with the
life to
right
'em.
like
Yeah, okay.
accents. So we have that like go 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 da ga go go
Yeah.
go da da boom. And instead of just saying it, I might as well at least start with a little bit of something. That you can hear with the click actually. And we did a bit of a filtered effect for that one because, you know, coming off of that Coma song, that Coma y'all were in for like 10 minutes before this, if you listen to it in album order, you'll be kind of inundated with piano stuff at that point. So we kind of wanted to like break it up if you're listening to it on that album journey. It also has a nice vibe when it opens up to unfiltered piano. It's always a nice break from like the sonic onslaught of like hi-fi width and brightness and depth and all these other fun buzzwords that describe or like my approach to mixing music. But yeah, I don't remember when this song like was like more fleshed out. This is like just, it's become kind of a blur, but I know like this is a good example of a song that had sections that as we were like, you know, trying to piece it together in Guitar Pro, that I would go through and like kind of do like basically take James and Richard's like Insanity and kind of reel it in. The more epic open sections towards the middle, and then at the end, those were like my addition to the vibe of the track, that since it was this constant chaotic time signature changing syncopated like Tigran Hamasyan style kind of stuff all over the place, I was like, how would this sound if we just like took a break and just did some open chords and like some tom grooves and some stuff like that, you know, the Sam post-rock thing, I guess. And that ended up being like a cool counterpoint to also like extend the arrangement, because, you know, we have that that first like bit in the middle that calls towards the end, which is that open chords and tom groove stuff, and yeah, makes some cool theming things happen as well. And the very end of this song too was like the first thing I actually demoed for the album in like 2019 with real guitar and like programmed drums and bass and piano and all that, because I remember showing it to friends at NAMM around that show when the last show we played in 2019. But yeah, that's a quick overview of this song. It's existed a very long time. That's what we're saying. And Eric mentioned that tour that we were on in 2018. James will probably speak to that at other times on our social media. But Richard and James were working on this back and forth in the van while we were doing our Southwest American tour with Outrun the Sunlight. And yeah, it was funny to have like a laptop hooked up to the, you know, van speakers and them plunking stuff into Guitar Pro. I can't remember if that was when we decided to switch the chorus, you know, for our music, quote unquote, chorus section from like 4/4 or from like what was like 15/16 stuff to just like a straight 4 to try and like curb some of the insanity, curb our enthusiasm. But yeah, those were the kinds of discussions that come out of making music like this. It's like, all right, should this section repeat for this many parts? Should we maybe play some open chords to just like take a break from the insanity? And then yeah, time signatures reeling those in too. So let's just get our bearings here and get started on the intro of this song. The vocal in the intro, this sort of like 3-part buildup of lyrics where Adam has like 3 kind of different plays on the word care and like contexts for it, is pretty cool to hear on its own. So I'll run through that first.
Cares such a scam when they are you fell.
Curious what this sounds like out of context too.
Care for the freshest air we say we need inhaled. Careful, you're asking for too much while living in mud. I reach for the gun.
Yeah, that was a fun one because for the longest time, getting vocals finalized in this song, I feel like it was towards the end where we really like figured out everything. I know there's some sections that we didn't even make it in the music video shoot. We were adding stuff after the fact to really like tie it off and add some theming. But this was a concept that was in there pretty early on from Adam's camp, which works really, really well because just for a little bit of context in case no one knows how this song goes. This is the bed playing beneath. Come on. There we go. All this chaos. And I wanted to just play that just to showcase like when there's that much happening in the just groove and all this stuff. Oh, thanks for more follows, guys. That it's probably a good call to do something as open and like laid back as this like long elongated vocal part. So that's just another chance for us to like flex our harmony muscles and do some really cool harmony, which, because like by itself, you can actually like get a sense of what's happening. Let's do just the backgrounds. There's some low Adam, and then
too much while living in mud. I reach for the gun.
Yeah, some real nice close harmony at the end there. But yeah, this is once again like our pre-mix session. So like this track here, that's all just like the big vocal harmonies, is like a lot of stuff all in one. But yeah, I got some like bass stuff going in there on an early morning. Probably. And it's always a good time. So yeah, sorry, Adam, I can't solo like the actual big note under there, but I think you can pick it out. Let's see. All right, cool. A handful of things happening in the beginning real quick, just to like kind of introduce our cast of characters. Let's see. Oh, right, the clean guitars. Yeah, so layering up this kind of thing was very like Pliny-esque, I would say, in the rhythm section. Let me keep going. But yeah, I feel like you can almost hear what's that song? I think it's Kind, from that EP where he started getting all jazzy. Lots of start stoppy stuff. And yeah, it was a cool sound to try and get in, because we don't generally do that. We're pretty like full tilt with the layering and distortions and all this stuff, and we'll sometimes just have kind of like general clean sections, but this is a more like peppy, like in between but still clean kind of thing, while Richard is keeping that motif going. And again, I don't know how piano works. It's like able to keep that much feel while doing that many notes at once. It's like wild. But the other thing I wanted to highlight that kind of sneaks in under here and in this whole intro section, which I could probably not play by itself, is this awesome string arrangement and flute recording that was a bit of Richard and a bit of some associates of his who are very, very talented and were willing to lend their talents to this. So it's real strings, real flute, doubling a good portion of this. I'll show it on the chorus too after, and it's a vibe. It's like Pixar vibes. Oh, this is important. Oh, I missed it. It's kind of a silly vibe. I don't know. Like when I was demoing out stuff and using different sample libraries, I put flute in here just because, I don't know, jazz flute is the meme, right? From, what is it, Anchorman? But I'd heard flute in like some Between the Buried and Me stuff, and also just like with how, I don't know, like eclectic and like Tigran Hamasyan jazz club the main melody is. It's figured it like just some different instrumentation, also probably inspired by some Deer Hunter listenings and musings, would be a cool addition. And then the last thing that's gonna be coming in and out, this Bells and Synths track is a kind of collection of a bunch of stuff across the song, but I think in here it's a bit of a synth situation. Yeah, just kind of reinforcing that main melody. Probably filtered a bit more as we go on, and then yeah, it's not an insane amount of layering stuff yet going on here, but I think the main star of the show that brought it together was when we were tracking this song with Eric, or you and I were tracking. This was after we did Legend first, then Safe House, and then Blink, I'm pretty sure. Does that
Sounds right, yeah.
Right. But at least this section was really cool to figure out, because we've, established that motif I just played in like the synths and the flute, which is like just layering upon layering. But like, how about the, players who are actually on stage if you come to see us? Eric was able to work out this part. I forget if like this was a thing in the tabs where it was written out, picked, and then tapped, or if it was just like oh, we don't know which one we want to do, let's just do both kind of thing.
I can't remember. I remember it just sounding like staccato, and then it was like legato the second part. So
yeah, it just like opens up.
Get that. Yeah,
and I think the sound that we ended up with has it's like a synthy vibe almost, but it's just like so articulate. I know, it just works. And then we got the tapping. Yeah, man, it's tough to have all this distortion. I wonder if there was like just another universe where we'd be able to track a song like this with half as much gain even, and see if what that sounds like.
Yeah,
but
there's like a psychotic part of my brain that listens to that and be like, fuck, I wish I could redo that, because I've gotten like a little bit better, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to like figure out how to have that kind of mindset going into demoing whatever new music it is. We just have so much more I guess like, patience with ourselves and understanding of like what we like to hear from finished guitar tracks. So like I would hope as we're going we can kind of just do that, but guitar is forever going to be the frustrating part of the process for me, because it's like, what is the final tone? I just need to play the part. I just need to get it out of my head, and then was it the right patch? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If it made you feel something, then it was fine. But yeah, gain levels are a thing. You'll drive yourself insane without being able to, change everything on a plugin. But here, I'm just quickly seeing this little layering stuff, because this is something we'll do a lot in this song, where we had these, I think these open chords, right? Articulate, but just very gainy, and then we'll layer that with some of that. It's like just different lower chords. I'm wondering if that's just going to be a habit I need to get out of, and if I'm going to layer it up, maybe just make it the same chord, and you're just trying to get a bit of articulation out of it. Like I've seen some guys on Nail the Mix do. They'll like blend a separate guitar with the same performance, but just with like a DI to add a little bit of clarity to it, like I'm doing with the bass here. And you have just this patch in the top, blended with just this guy. And then also you got to throw Werner in the back room, because he knows what he did.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's kind of our cast of characters until we end up getting some more like clean guitars and percussion and all that fun stuff. Yeah, let's actually here, just because the drums are a vibe and I don't want to blast over it, we'll highlight some other stuff, but this is the vibe for how these drums, kind of similar, sound from the rest of the record, but how they sound on this song. I love how there's like so many little phrases in there too, like that little like ride thing. Just like super musical. It's like hitting every single little thing, but there's always something going on. Cool. So that's how we build a bunch of stuff over a motif, and then our first break from that motif is this section, which we have labeled as the chorus here, because it technically is the theme that comes back towards the end. But let's hear how that sounds coming out of this.
There's no continuity that feels a simple fair control. Can't afford to play again. My honesty is being used. Don't count on me from another. Give me this time to.
It's fun listening to these pre-mixed stems like leveled with stuff, because like there's so many things in a song like this have to be automated in a final mix, like any of James' little cymbal hits, or like a guitar run that's just like taking over when like vocals are maybe more important in that moment. It's a tough balancing act to fit this much stuff in there. It's like, honestly, it's like quick aside, it is just like philosophically very makes me sad when I hear all of this stuff happening, but we try to get it into like a mix and it just like doesn't work sometimes. And you're like, what the hell, man? Like, because like it all makes sense that you're like, oh yeah, the percussion is doing this high thing, the guitars are layering, and it sounds great. Like, why can't everything that just like makes sense in my brain come out of these speakers? And that's the struggle. Yeah, I have thoughts of how to approach that next time. I think this album took a while to put together, and getting used to how certain versions of the song sounded definitely didn't help, because that will be like, oh, I can't change this, that, or the other thing too much. Otherwise I'll freak out. But yeah, we'll just mix it with AI at this point. Oh my gosh. And yeah, James can drum pretty good. So speaking of vocals, because segues are weird, let's do a bit more of that on this chorus, because there's a lot of cool stuff going on with the way Adam's attacking it, and then just like the layering and stuff. Some of my favorite things on the record are in this song.
Barely alive. There's no governor to their feelings. A simple feel control news. Can't afford to play again. Barely alive. Well, I understand who's being used. Don't shelter me from all of the gloom. Give me wisdom to know.
Damn, that was some super Queen shit.
Yeah.
Right there.
That second to last harmony part is really fucking cool. If that makes sense. Like right before that final lead line, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
a little bit back from that point. Like,
is it the money line, or is it the give me wisdom stuff?
like a measure back from where you are right now.
Okay.
Like at 40, I can't see there. Yeah.
Yeah, let's give that a shot.
Don't shelter me from all of the gloom.
Yeah, like the descending stuff.
It's sick.
So like we have this repeating motif, or Adam has this like kind of call and response thing, so that way a chorus can open up with vocals like basically right on the onset.
Barely alive. Money to keep you home at night.
So we have like an octave, and then like kind of a, like, I think just one, maybe that might be a 3-part harmony. I'm like, so many layers, it's hard for me to like perceive at this point, but then you jump ahead to the repeat where it opens up a bit more, and then we just add a bunch more layers.
Barely alive. Money to keep you home at night.
And some of that like
it's
changing
great,
stuff where it goes down. And we have that, main motif of the barely money. And I think in there it's like barely out of the money to keep you home at night. Just some more like motion to it, even though it's the same kind of stuff. Yeah, man. People are digging Adam's voice, as you should, because he's a good boy and he makes the things happen. Let's see, what was it? Yeah, this part comes back at the end of the song too, but and is referenced in Prelude. Especially this. Whoop, am I on the right? Here we go.
Can't afford to play again.
There's kind of a high one in there. That's a lot of me in there, actually.
Can't afford to play again.
When it's all together, like this last one too, like it has a very like, what's the word? Like church hymn kind of vibe to it.
Give me wisdom.
I feel like we should be sitting there like, oh, give me wisdom. Like doing the choir thing. Here, is it the doubles that we're adding to that too? Just like everything together was like a vibe.
Give me wisdom.
Yeah, just super thick. And Yeah, I love this section a lot. It's like where I'm just abusing a lot of the other things you guys have probably seen on these sessions, like just some good old vibey shakers and stuff, which I would usually program in, but I towards the end of recording found some stuff and was just like realized immediately how terrible I am or how like difficult it is to like keep this stuff in time. This and the shaker situation, but it was cool. Like even though I'm like making sure I'm very, very on the beat and at certain times like editing stuff kind of like as like more of like a loop. I don't know, these had like a snappier attack to them. You can hear it in like La Jolla too, and that like verse parts where everything gets like all dark and stormy. It's like there was so much more energy when it was just like doing it. So like the notes, like the syncopated stuff, or I guess the subdivisions are like not perfectly on. So it's just like a bit more frantic and exciting. It's probably more than you ever wanted to hear about shakers in your life. But this whole section has because we were saying it's coming off of that first loop or motif of the piano stuff, and then we have this like second one that's similar because it's very frantic but does have a couple start and stop stuff, and who better to show it off than Eric. Maybe with some piano too. It's a nice little end there, just all lining up for doing. But yeah, I love how like juicy that lead sounds. Is this do you remember if that was Gibson or Ibanez? I feel like I'm keeping score every week.
I tracked that on the Ibanez because we tracked that at your apartment, and I played it I guess closer to the nut on the neck, like on this part, on higher on the strings. I don't know if like sometimes I think I should just played it the same part to get more of like a thicker sound, but it is kind of cool. Like there, it's like it is juicy, but it's also like bitey on this part, so like cuts pretty hard. And then at the end when it comes back, I played it on the Les Paul, but like closer, like on the 12th fret, lower in the lower strings to get more like that thicker round sound, I guess. But
yeah, with all the distortion, it starts getting like into like synthy territory for the one at the end.
Yeah.
Like how that Guthrie Govan, forget what the jury was on that. Tune Waves, the one that has all that slidey stuff. He literally like wrote a lick based on the glissando of a synth, so it has that kind of sound. But yeah, no, that's very much that vibe. And man, once again, like there's not a crap ton of layers happening, but like while all that is happening, I have to learn to play this part. I didn't track it. Eric, by the way, tracked like a good portion of the guitars on this song, and then when it gets to like some of the chuggier stuff, it'll switch to my guitar. But
Sam chugs
the chunk. But yeah, like there's just a lot happening here to try and like present. So like. Thick chords, and then of course yep, little slap. Here, I messed that presentation up. We have a bit of layering going on here that I might as well just show in one take instead of isolating every single little thing. So sometimes we'll have some clean guitars doubling up on rhythm parts to add a bit more clarity and like just focus to like maybe that melodic passage, but the distortions keeping it thick. So I have looks like a low gain version and then like a sparkly clean on that transition. And then it transitions into this like big sausagey looking waveform, which is my guitar, taking it out of this like spanky lower gain vibe into something a bit chunkier for a second, kind of alluding to what's going to happen on the next section. So let me just play that transition again with all this. all those like start stop stuff,
sick. Just
alluding to like what's going to happen next with all the go, which a lot of people seem to like. Yeah, it's cool. Like I want to do more of that too, instead of just like being like, oh, this section is a section, the guitar tone is this until the section is over. Like mixing and matching and like treating it more, or just like being less beholden to like what we think the rules of metal playing is or whatever.
Yeah.
I always reference the one that was like an accident because the first like producer pack type thing of like stems that I was able to look at of a band that I enjoyed was Dream Theater, and there was a song from their 2009 album that the guitar tone just like fundamentally changed for no apparent reason after like the first 2 minutes for the rest of the song. So like sometimes you can just do that because you know they're rock and roll, they were probably just using mics and someone kicked it one day and they were like, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
But it's like a little different. But using this is
That
like
shit's cool though, man.
just a different character. And yeah, you got the vibe of obviously
sick.
Werner's doing his thing. Wait, where was it? Yeah. Which I made sure that Bentley. Is that crazy though? Without the top end blended in.
Yeah.
It's like almost not there for that kind of thing. So I wanted to make sure that was blended in audibly in the final mix. I'm pretty sure you can pick that out, even though there's a lot of chaos happening. And then yeah, all those starts and stops are just so cool in this arrangement, constantly keeping you on your toes. Yeah. Okay, cool. Nothing else hiding in the shadows there. And then yeah, this next section is like was easily one of the first ones I wanted to clip when we were doing promotion for the song and the music video and all that, because after all this craziness, we went through like our first motif and all the syncopated junk, and then this one, it's like open and bright and the shakers and all that are having fun. But this is finally where we just get like a straight up dance beat, and you can see in our arrangement here I just have like dance verse written down, and this was all James and us just like maneuvering James' world. But yeah, these like syncopated chords and stuff, it's all a James vibe. So here I'll do once without vocals, and then we'll isolate isolate the vocals. That's funny, that's a lyric. And there, before we get into the chugs, yeah, you can hear the kind of handoff again of guitar as we go from like Spanky. It's just a cool bark, yeah, angry dogs. This is cool. Like as I'm scrolling through here, I left all the stems open so you hopefully guys can see the waveforms relatively easily. Just guitar, piano, bass, drums, and one layer each. Yeah, so it's like as like the band represented with no party tricks other than some background vocal stuff. And this left room for Adam to just do some dirty stuff over top. Some cool vocal moments that we could probably do some backups for live, for example. But yeah, just a sick performance overall here.
Something strange, the TV breaks and I'm so sane. It's not what I want. Isolated, I refuse to copy my brain. Clone myself with such disdain. It's not what I want. I'm sorry, you won't define me now. It's gone. I'm willing to act on my fate if there's death. Suffering I'm invested in. Selfish. A pretty bull makes the elephants roar. We must come to realize that in our wake we'll build the way.
Yo, what the hell was that one? I don't remember that at all. Yo. Wait, hang on.
Realize that in our wake we'll build the way.
Dude, that sounds like a joke, but that's in there. It's fucking awesome.
Fuck.
That's yeah. I'm gonna assume that was heavily affected to get that effect, or nope. That I'm feeling it today.
Oh, shit.
There we go. Yeah, that's
Yep.
there you go. He's like, Adam, I got 3 octaves, but definitely not that one.
That just pumps Sam up, dude.
Oh, now my voice is like extra gone. That you can't do that more than like twice a day.
Yo, make that a fucking sub notification.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's weird. That's like actually like basically the end of my range. Thank God this key isn't any lower. But oh my gosh. This shit's funny. Yeah, lots of cool layering stuff happening here, and I left it rolling because this is we take a break from vocals for a while after this section, but yeah, just lots of cool syncopated stuff that took a lot of trial and error to get the performances to be locked in with the band in the right way, but in the end,
Something strange, the TV breaks and I'm so sane. It's not what I want. Isolated, I refuse to copy my brain. Clone myself with such disdain. It's not what I want. I'm sorry, you define me now.
I think that's just such a great example too of like the arrangement. Like you'll hear this in a lot of like Tesseract stuff, which I think we definitely have some influence from, obviously, but like these kinds of syncopated start-stop things lining up with vocal parts, or vocal parts lining up with those,
Sorry, you define me now.
instead of trying to be extra clever and just do something else that isn't like, we feel like we're part of the same team here, which is cool. And yeah. just cool shit all around happening. And like for the life of me, Eric, the piano processing, like it's just a big sausage here, as you can see. It sounds different on this song. I have to think it's like because of the chords or something. But just like the way
Hell yeah. That's wild.
just like
Yeah, dude.
something about the harmony.
It's like giving the guitars a big hug, dude.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Oh my god! Like I prattled on earlier about like blending direct tracks, like that high bass thing with the warmer fuzzy bass sound, and like adding clarity to it. But it's almost like, yeah, I could have just added some clean, spanky guitarness to like make the chords make more sense. But how about just a clean ass heavy piano? And
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's just such a like thick. So cool. Yeah, just the cool range of the instrument too. The song is in it's drop A on a 7-string, so we can get to use the lowest A on the piano later in the song as well. Just good vibes all around, and then of course like just the heaviness of the drums.
Big ghost notes.
Yeah, just super important to like, we probably separated those and like mixed them up and stuff. All these little guys in here that y'all can see. Yeah. Ghost notes, just in time for not Halloween. But yeah, lots of cool shit happening here. And again, not a ton of layering to make that heaviness happen, which is exciting for me because, or at least when we approach performing, we don't have to like recreate a bunch of stuff that doesn't exist to get this vibe across, which is cool. And then I think this is a section that people have been waiting for a while. This insanity with the start-stop stuff. This little transition right before we get into that is just Eric and I guess, going off, and then there's like some synth stuff. So there's this layer. Quick little, cassette tape effect, I guess, or something in there. Sounds like it was shared there, but yeah, just something to break up the craziness before it goes in. And of course, just a little as natural. It's so cool. You can like almost hear where his hands have to like change over to like get stuff to make it happen. And it's like, but it's still so warm and thick. And yeah, man, like again, like songs like these, like there are other parts that maybe Richard struggled with, like his solo in Legend, because he wanted it to be like exactly articulated a certain way or whatever. But like, I don't remember like not like when I was tracking my parts, trying to desperately keep up with what was happening and just get the right notes done. Richard is pretty comfortable in sections like this, and I envy that a lot. Just a lot of cool sounds in this section too, with just core band stuff. Just in case Richard is listening, because we were laughing about it last time, core band does include piano. That's what we were talking about here. Yeah, I knew there was some funky shit going on in there. Some like bends or whatever in there that you can't do with like a sample bass. And then of course just like hyper edited stuff. So tight. And that's funny. I said hyper edited because I thought I went through and like did the gent thing where you just cut out all the silence in between every note, but it looks like
sounds pretty natural.
Yeah, I left the tails in. Good job, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't neuter the recording to death. But yeah, I think it was just because like between that and like, the piano would sound super unnatural if you're trying to like gate stuff in a traditional, I say traditional as of like 2011 or so, like edited gridded performance stuff for like piano, because all the room tone would be taken out. You can't really like palm mute a piano, or can you, for that anyway. Well, you can't palm mute that sound, you'll just get a different sound entirely. But yeah, so those are the pieces making up this vibe. I love how delayed that fill feels. And then this shit.
Goes up.
Yeah, he does that in Coma, where he goes up instead of down like normal, and then does that. Yeah. He's freaking stupid face though when we're in the studio and he's like, I have an idea, and then he like does this stuff like across the cymbals. Something about the tracks on this are like, it's like outside of my head, this craziness sound. But yeah, that takes us to the craziness that I'm sure people have been wondering about. I have a clip somewhere. I wish I had it handy, but we'll post about it again. Richard, or rather, when we were demoing this song, I had once again fake MIDI instruments doing some muted stuff. So this is the yeah, Barack, this is the transition into the spooky stuff with Piano Town. So let's maybe just hear a bit of what that sounds like before I start explaining more what it is. Anyway, you get the vibe. So that's real. That's a real piano. The same one in the studio. And yeah, this is some Sims shit. But taking that same, start stop motif thing, and I think we used probably like Richard's sweater and like some like a scarf and some other material that we had around there, and weighed it down with a MacBook inside the piano where like the strings are. And yeah, that this way, whenever the hammers hit the strings that are muted with the like wool and stuff that are weighed down with a MacBook, the best use of a laptop computer at that point, you get that like guitar palm muted effect on a piano. So now we just have to run it through an Axe Effects, and then we can be a real gent band. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was using like some Keyscape like wing tack piano or something that was like muted, I think, where they like prepare the piano in a different way for the demo. And then once we got in the studio and started figuring that out, I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like actually real. And hearing that layered with Richard's like chill unmuted piano over top. So I guess if we were to do this live, he would just do a left hand. I say, yeah, he would just do this, but still, I don't know how you split your brain and do it, but he does. A left hand thing, and then in the right hand. Which is basically the intro. Then takes us into the next big section. I'm skipping over a couple things, but just wanted to get the vibe there. And that was cool because, layering, just like we are with guitar the whole time, like different sounds. We have the main piano with the thumped stuff. Just gives that thick. And then you add guitar and bass in there, and it's like, forget about it. It's a vibe. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
Where can I purchase a Richard for my band? How much you got?
How much you got?
How much you got, man?
Make an offer. We're no one said no yet. That's the He's not for sale. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, they sell Blumenthal's at Sam's Club. I have no such club, and there is no such thing available. So you shut your beautiful mouth. We'll see. Yeah, there's a handful of other things we had some fun with here. Looks like some guitar stuff. Come on. You're gonna make me. This is hilarious. Hang on. What is this here? that was really important to have.
Yes.
It's like right in the end. There you go. For 100 Shroot bucks, you can get that. There you go. But if you do, yeah, Adam's actually saying the real stuff. If you do want Richard on your stuff, you can actually purchase some Richard time if you just hit him up on Instagram at Tricky Dickies Licks and Ricks 42, because there was 41 others that he had to wait through. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, stuff like this happens sometimes. When I can't remember if that was like a section that I deleted and that one like escaped, or that was intentional. But I think you'll hear it in the mix. I think that's what's going to get us the Grammy, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
But yeah, this was fun. I really wish I had the original demo handy, because man, I'll die on this hill. I still think it was fucking cool, but I want to be able to like play this live in a way that makes sense and isn't hilarious. I thought this bass part should be an upright bass part and not an electric. Yeah, and then it jumps back to the regular tone. But yeah, we had some like hilarious like slap bass patch in the session originally for
trillion
this.
shit.
Yeah, probably. And like even in Guitar Pro, just like whatever patch that was, for like different tracks, it was just like James chaos. And then it was like, all right, Werner was probably like too stoked to make that happen once we got to actually tracking. And it's cool, it translates really well. But yeah, there was just a different vibe. We were going nuts with like all the, like we have some like jazzy triangle going on. And what do we got here? Some like jazz club vibraphone, keeping that motif going with the guitar. I dig this a lot, actually. Oh, I missed the most important part. Here. that makes the whole transition. Like, guys, come on, listen to this. That's great and all, but like, I mean, come on. You're not really rocking until you have a Werner destroying your ears. And a giant jawbone percussion noisemaker thing going in your ears. But yeah, this was fun to have like a real flute player just for like a second. Because that was always a moment where like they might have heard it earlier on in the song, because it is a thing, but like people would be like, wait, is that flute? What's going on? Music, man, it's crazy, it's wild, it's a good time. But real quick, just because I'm selfish, this little guitar patch, I basically never use phaser effects on like anything, or like modulation really in general. Oh, thanks Sub Legend for the follow. Just need more legends on our team. But yeah, the phaser thing was like very much a Dream Theater inspired thing, to just like have some other texture underneath all this stuff other than just like typical boring clean guitar. And we're getting weird in this section with all the funky stuff, so I was like, why not get weird with the effects too? But yeah, I dig how like tight the band sounds with all this stuff here in this section coming up. And we'll do it once without vocals, and then we'll show you some layering. then the heaviness ensues. But just a bunch of cool stuff going on. I'm bouncing around just to try and keep us interested. Let's check out some vocals in this section.
In absence, our mindless masses are constantly awake. Heartbreak to find, but I think you might see through the light. Closer today, could this be the way to separate?
Yeah.
Heartbreak to find, but I think you might see through the light. Could this be the way?
Yeah, those delays and stuff, those little throws.
Could this be the way? Could this be the way?
Man, I dig this. I'll just like, that'll be our next subscriber sound, just this. La jazz. just go for days, man. Like, if you guys ever don't hear from me for like a month, I'm probably just like stuck. If you don't hear from me from a month and my task was to go record some vocals, I'm probably still stacking layers until my computer explodes. So I'm gonna need some saving. Oh gosh. Let's see. Got lots of cool stuff happening in these sections. So when we hit into this like, I don't know, it almost has like a Motown film score-y kind of vibe to me when it opens up into this. And I think for the longest time, like something about the like demo takes that we had were just like not, they might have just not been tight to the grid or had like the right groove or something, but now it all like really feels like it's making sense. Oh man, thanks for the 2 months subs. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, this section is a vibe. Yeah, man, like, I definitely don't have enough like sections in our music with the orchestrated stuff that like, and real strings that like this brought, that sound like this clean. Man, that sounds freaking awesome. It's usually just like so buried behind other stuff. I would love to like have a couple songs that are more arranged for orchestra, or maybe we would have like more fun parsing down some like layers and sections if we did like a show with orchestra or something where the parts are more written out, and like one of those like Abbey Road sessions that is now like my on my bucket list of things to do. But yeah, Richard and friends helped with this. I keep forgetting who played what exactly in the Stringland, but yeah, he had some talented folks on this. Looks like they even added into the end here. Yeah, that's
hell yeah.
doubling all that guitar stuff. So we have this like, that's so sick, and then piano too, and bass. The piano is fun though. You can see it in the music video. Richard's like going ham on it. And then, yeah, here, real quick, let's look at this, like, wacky guitar transition. And then onwards into the insane section. But yeah, it's cool. It almost feels like there's like, just because of all the overtones, there's like an octave effect.
Yeah.
Are we sure isn't? No, I don't think so. It's just like it has that vibe of like thickness to it. But yeah, this part was fun because it does that metric modulation nerd stuff or whatever it is. But it's not exactly the same as the first riff. I just remember us playing it and you had a vibe for where the rhythms and hits should go. And this just ended up feeling better. And I'm glad you said something, because instead of it just trying, like forcing it to be smart and like whatever, like this just has a vibe that works. I like how it leaves some spaces for like the snare too, every once in a while. Yeah, just a cool section of just like building and building until we get to where we see a lot of reaction, people saying like, oh, there's no way the song can get any crazier, right? And then we just hit him with all this. And all hell breaks loose. But yeah, this is such a fun little thing here, which is, let's see, what, piano and strings. And it's funny that like I didn't put this together until just now that James and Richard and I worked on an EP for one of my final projects as a production student at Berkeley. And there's a song actually at the very end of the track that Richard wrote that has that going on. I don't remember. Let's see, this would be. If I find it sometime, I'll share it in the Discord or whatever. But yeah, it's just very eclectic. I am gonna assume it was Richard too, but this little like slide here, just adding that extra like lift to all this craziness, and then of course James just going in. But yeah, I dug how like this section, just for however long this is, I don't have a ruler here, but it looks like 26 some odd bars. We also have this labeled as the necro section, like necrophagist, but like happy, that tech death metal band. And I like how it is, like you can see in this this guitar main. Let me scroll down here. Guitar main gain track. It's just kind of like me on the right and Eric on the left, essentially. And I think for a couple of these parts here and there, like I might have taken like a bar of like double tracking both, but for the most part, we were actually like doing everything left and right. So it's kind of cool that like it'll for sure sound like this live when I can play it. Goddamn. I was curious how many harmonies are in there. There's so many more than I remember.
It is tight, but it does sound like, for the most part, two guitar players. Like you can hear how we're like picking shit a little bit differently and stuff, you know. It's not like crazy locked in tight where it sounds like, you know, a guitar player just double tracking itself. Like I can kind of hear the differences, you know.
And we're gonna practice the shit out of this so we can line up on, you know, my gosh, come on like, or where's like a really, yeah, all that stuff. So like
yeah those shit, yeah,
all that things, like, you know, because like everybody is doing the thing. Like James is doing his punk booty camp. in craziness. Yeah, this just super tight. And yeah, like just like if there was going to be a section where we went as crazy as Cop could possibly go with guitar arranging and being different harmonies and stuff like that, instead of being like, we don't have to harmonize this note or whatever. Like, this is time to let the prog flag just fly. And then yeah, it looks like we have all these like little like piano interjections that so Richard just takes a break for some parts and then comes back in with us. Just one little bop at the end there. Man, it's just like wanted to showcase like how apeshit crazy everybody is going in this section, and like the bass is even nuts. Yeah. Do-do-do-do-do-do. It's just all these like little like cadences.
It's fucking ridiculous, as parts in this song. The sections in this song, dude.
This is like definitely one, like when we're usually doing music, that's what we're calling this, right? I think. Yeah, Adam just wiggles his hips here. Yeah, that's we know we this is where we give him a tambourine and he throws it on the ground, because he will not be reduced to tambourine boy. Actually, I think later in the production I did.
Yes,
because it just works. Yeah, just picture Adam doing that now. But it's funny, all these like little and like little cadences and all this stuff, and talking earlier about the what was it, like the give me wisdom, like very like choral sounding stuff. Like, tell me this doesn't sound like just straight up church hymns.
Yep, that resolution is perfect.
It's goofy as hell, man.
Yeah.
But then we get like him doing this over it.
Now disappears legacy, you need to let it flow.
Just that little bit of delay.
Yeah.
And then like we got this little interjection, the Queen thing again. Just right in the middle. Get this, guys. Yeah, but sorry to just cut you guys off there, but there's Churd. Yeah, so this section was an example of where I think the impetus for the version of this section that ended up on the record was when we were hanging out during that Outliers shoot at Richard's place, and I was like fundamentally against like this version of it, basically like where it is here. I wanted like more let's see, like if I just not give away too much of everything, but like this kind of stuff. something more in that vein with like a drum groove and lots of hits and all that stuff. I was like, this is for sure the thing that's gonna sell it and be a good break. But because I was so focused on it being that, I was kind of, you know, what's the phrase, missing the forest for the trees or something like that. And this space here honestly furthers like the goal of what this section is doing even better. It's just supposed to be like a break from all this like chaos. And not only that, I think we had the chords running alongside the progression that comes later. And then, yeah, exactly. Like what Chert is saying about this stuff too, like repeating some of the chords for a bit longer in a slightly different tonal center than we've been hearing like the entire song. Just breaks it up and gives us more of more space. And then of course, room for us to do some nice vocal building before we get to the even more vocal building. This whole song is just building. But yeah, let's like go over a couple of these like layers and what makes them so cool. So here in keyboard land / piano, we have Rhodes and piano doubling up on like the big chords and that motif again. It's like spacey Rhodes. Creating a harmony. Skiggity or skibbity hibbity, whatever the lyrics are there. Yeah. But yeah, it was such a good move. And then looks like in the background, I'm doing my typical post-rock thing. Bring back the theme from Prelude. And that's funny because like it's all down to one track now, but I remember when we were working on this section and Eric was like, yo, what's that note that's like hanging over the top there? And he was like, yeah, that's cool. I was like, yeah, it's freaking guitar, dude.
I said, make sure that sharp 11 fucking rings out loud. That's what I said.
And I'm hearing some string stuff too. So as we're going down, I'll hit the open guitars in a sec. But to me, the more interesting thing is all this nonsense. We have a bit of, or no, this is all real orchestra, and then synth layer. So I'll do those separately. It's like a film score. Guess that's adding to that holdover too. And then this just like, that sounds amazing, by the way. Just like, good Lord. We have this stuff. It's like if Blade Runner was a happy movie.
Interstellar.
Or Interstellar, yeah, that's some space shit. just the way it like sneaks in at the beginning. Yeah, I love that stuff. Finding nice well, that's why we've used bells so much in our music in the past, and is popular in like, you know, stuff like Pliny and other modern new prog metal kinds of stuff. It's just like a very, it cuts through in a pretty way. And then when you can use the pads like that to fill in the gaps, especially after such a like tight rock section that we just had, getting to just such a welcome space for that, because if you just get rid of all the string stuff as you might hear live, it's cool, you can perceive stuff, but yeah, it's just not as impactful. And this is where we get into Guitar World. Just open chords, so I'm able to get a little crazier here, but looks like I have just a big downbeat, and then like some open chords, then maybe like an octave, and then like, what is this? Nice, just basically like beefing up the like overtones and stuff you'll hear underneath like a thick guitar. Oh, that's fun. So yeah, all together. Yeah, I love those kinds of guitar sounds, especially when it gets like super heavy towards the end. And then we get into chaos land. Actually, here, I'll put this for a bit because we've worked on this for a while. Trying to get this tight. Eric, you'll notice there's like an octaver effect on the first repeat because the bass is not there to like necessarily fill that in and keep it tight. And then when you drop down the octave, it comes off because it's the real guitar doing the thing. Yeah, this section gets really big, but I wanted to showcase that because that like kind of, again, we're bringing back that 16th note thing. And I have videos of me like practicing that back in like 2018, but thankfully I didn't have to play it in this section. Eric took it over. We'll have to figure it out live because I am gonna be doubling it, and I played it in the music video. But it's tough, man. I like forever was like a sound that I'm like, yeah, we'll just throw that motif into a riff and it'll sound awesome. It is incredibly hard to do. So it took a long time, but I think what we ended up with is pretty sick. And the way that everybody else is like coming into, underneath, like building up. We get pianos too. And then how it lines up. Get some like harmonies in there, and we're even layering it more with just so much guitar, just to make it as thick as possible on a record, but you'll only be able to hear so much in a live setting. Just chaos. Oh man, it's fun layering that stuff though, so that it, yeah, like I said, beefs up in a mix. And then we have even more going on in this drop. Everyone's got to get in on it. gotta have your little bells in there, just that little bit. Oh man. And of course, all this chaos is not to be forgotten amongst some really sick vocals. So let's check out the epic portion, followed by the build with all this vocal layering that Adam and I did.
Still at a loss for words. Confident, but I'm still at a loss for words. But I'm not lost. I'm at a loss. One day I'll prove the essence of its worth. Won't live the loss that dictate the worst in lives. Keep those passion-filled eyes. I'm sorry you won't define me, no.
I forgot about those little octaves at the end. That's nice. But yeah, this was this whole section of building stuff. Actually here, right before I jump out of that, all that theming, I'm hoping you guys are picking up on. Obviously it's pretty audible in there. Adam and I just going to town for days on layers and stuff, bringing that theme from Prelude, or rather Prelude taking the theme from this song and alluding to it earlier on, and yeah, just giving that warm bed of awesome stuff, and also Adam alluding to lyrically to the previous section.
I'm willing to act on my fate if there's time.
All this stuff.
I'm willing to act on my fate if there's death. Suffering I'm invested in.
That's love those screams there too. But yeah, it's really cool how a section opens up like this and we can still keep the theming alive. And then yeah, just a really, really nice performance here.
Better to mend than deny you.
Some great effects. But yeah, once we started trying to get this build section, I knew I wanted some sort of like rhythmic, like almost like rapping kind of like thing to build us into this open drop here.
I'm at a loss for words. Blameless, but I'm at a loss for words.
So these are panned.
Blistering, but I'm still at a loss for words. Confident, but I'm still at a loss for words.
While we have Adam doing his filtered thing.
Blistering, but I'm still at a loss for words. Confident, but I'm still at a loss for words.
You know, kind of like the spirit box, spooky voice kind of deal. And yeah, just assembling this part, like I said, with the theming and being like, well, what else could we use to like make this part like hit in the layer department? And so instead of just adding another part arbitrarily, why not add the intro vocal layering? That's going to be my alarm at some point. But yeah, just like so cool how that works out.
I'm at a loss. One day I'll prove the essence of its worth. Won't live the laws that dictate the worst in lives. Keep those passion-filled eyes.
Oh, here, before I skip over some more.
Dictate the worst in lives. Keep those passion-filled eyes.
Just like different tones for like every line. It's kind of nuts. Yeah, super happy with how this whole section turned out with all the orchestration and all this epic stuff. and brings us full circle with like, how long this song is. We don't have any like new sections really, other than like the outro, which you could consider of just another variation on an idea. So yeah, we're like dancing on the way home now with this stuff.
Something changed. I made my own escape, and now I've cleaned these things. Isolated, I refuse to copy my brain, clone myself with such disdain. 'Cause it's not what I wanted. I'm sorry, you won't define me now.
And all that awesome stuff, but gotta bring back the dance section with a little. Yeah, vibes. Because, without it, it's fine, but...
Something changed. I made my own escape.
But come on.
Something changed.
Now we're dancing.
My own escape, and now I've cleaned.
I'm auditioning to become a tambourine player. Guitar is too hard at this point. But yeah, we're bringing back more of that Eric Spanky stuff. Yeah, there's like so much distortion, and it's like 7-string chords for like every chord. I was listening to that, just trying to remember like where we were at. But yeah, again, the piano layering in this is just... just so satisfying on this song in particular. And yeah, I dug how James went to the halftime for that instead of whatever kind of other insane thing we had going on originally, I think, in the demos. We're doing our dance groove, and then halftime speeds it up and then stops. Yeah, just like really nice writing in that case. And then yeah, looks like not too much else going on, but back to some more sick vocals, which Adam kept the same part for the most part, so that we could, theming, but also some changing up some lyrics, because Prague.
No, something changed. I made my own escape, and now I've cleaned these things.
Here we go.
Isolated, I refuse to copy my brain, clone myself with such disdain. 'Cause it's not what I wanted. I'm sorry, you won't define me now. I'm willing to undertake if there's death that brings peace to me and all others in my lane. I'll lose focus if it doesn't go this way now.
And
Can't accept this way, but we'll make do.
then we send Adam off into space. Oh my god. Yeah, just like such freaking cool call and response stuff here. Oh my god. Yeah, and I think what's funny is like parts like this little transition.
Define me now.
I know there's a lot going on there, but let's
Define me now.
just get a good delay on him, and he'll sound awesome. Like it takes some coaxing to get an Adam stoked to hit a high note like that when he's like, I gotta sing that live and it's hard. And I was like, dude, you sound really fucking good. And he's like, I do. And I'm like, yeah, you do. And then we hug it out, and then it's on the record. Now you can hear it. So that's how you do that. But like sections like this, and I think other like high notes and Coma or Legend or any other songs, like it's sick, and we can like be comfortable in this kind of like rock range here.
Something changed. I made my own escape, and now I clean these things.
And then escape it for a second with this.
Find me now.
I kind of picture that too, Eric, if we're doing like backgrounds ever, like we kind of pick up the slack on the bottom portion and then let Adam breathe for a second and then come back in later. Just keeping track of, or I like to picture a live performance in that way when we're arranging stuff, regardless of whether or not it is played live. We want to, obviously, but it helps me find more like purpose and focus for that section as it's being put together, I guess. And yeah, as we get right to this like outro part 1 before the fake out, there's other stuff that I remember you digging on, Eric, a while back when it was first done. This was like definitely actually me programming it in the Guitar Pro originally with some sort of like synth patch or something, but this little motif over it. Yep, and more motif stuff, but that's kind of fun. When we were putting this section together, the and where it shows up before, like, you know, these chords, this I'm like 90% sure I was the one who was like, hey, let's do the what is it, like a sharp 5 or some crap, and then like it is like a modal interchange chord. Like a D major or something, I forget. Like if it was adding D major to an Aviation song, it was probably me or James' idea. But yeah, just like adding some color to it, and I'm really glad with how it worked out, because unlayered and like pretty early on in the process without all these cool sounds, you know, these kinds of things can sound kind of corny. But yeah, sorry if I missed all the tambourine talk earlier. Bring tambourines to shows and we'll let you play them.
We'll let you.
We'll let you. That's right. You know. Oh, nailed it. And yeah, I was such a big fan of like when we were arranging this stuff, like, you know, we're just going all out prog. You heard all the crazy necrophagist happy stuff that we did. This little like break here. Yes, just I definitely heard like
That's what I hear in my head all day long. That's what I hear when I close my eyes.
you just see you smell rust, you see red.
Yep.
And you hear that. And just the drone, the long drone of the infinite void, Cthulhu floating over. That's why these are called sleigh bells and not, you know, sleigh bells. Just
Fuck.
death and grief and murder. But yeah, I feel like I had something to do with writing the rhythm stuff. The little vibe change here, but some nerd shit for sure. And all just with
like
the
a
goal.
Sam transition.
Yeah, it's very like, well, let's get weird with it. And then into the actual version of the idea that I alluded to earlier, and Richard fixed and made better with all this stuff. We now finally get it with whoopsie. Yeah, there we go. Let's turn that down. And then I'll break apart some of the theming that comes in there in a second. But I wanted to highlight this patch really quickly. I forgot it just like drones out. Nice, get some low A in there. And then when it just gets cut off, right? Yeah, just right for the drop. But yeah, I just wanted some like chaos, like as if it was like on stage and like feeding back with all the noise, but also just, you know, to make it sound like it was happening in the void where Eric is listening to Cthulhu pounding metal stakes into his brain in hell. But this was cool because you can't see on the camera here, but I have a guitar cab that we would use live for some stuff, and it's a unique thing for a band like us because we just use modelers into PA systems, and because we live in the future. But that Seymour Duncan power amp that I got, I literally have only used it so far for that recording right there. Yeah. While Eric just like pumped volume into my guitar. I looped it through this quad Cortex here, and just with a volume pedal, and I think we had like a whammy setting too, so that we could do some like wacky pitch things, and my whammy bar on my Petrucci guitar. And that's like 2-panned layers like comped together of just like a bunch of wacky sounds feeding back through the amp while I'm like smacking the guitar and stuff, and you can hear like the low strings ringing out and stuff, just to add all this like extra chaos and motion to the underbed of this thing, because like that's fine, but like don't you want to hear whale noises underneath it? Doesn't it make sense? And that's like how it dives into it and then opens up to that next part. It's a neat little thing, and I just want to like hear how that sounds live, where maybe we have bass just like ringing out that low A, and then we can just get weird with it. Running around on stage trying to make feedback happen, but we won't because the stage is too small or something. I don't know.
Just get like 4 different freak out pedals set at different frequencies.
The whole time, don't tell the sound guy. The whole time, it's just gonna be like, "Fuck, shit, what?
Yeah,
what's happening? I can't."
Yeah,
like it's constantly notching frequencies. We keep finding new ones. Oh god,
get fucked.
Yeah. Yep, bringing back this sample patch for the leads and whatnot. And as we build, and like I think just everyone's kind of doing their bass duties, just holding down chords. Yep, just getting warmed up, and same with bass. I think we're just like sustaining. Just getting the gears turning as James is doing his caveman. But the tom sounds so good on this part. And this is where we start getting into epic territory. So here, I'll play a little bit of this without vocals. I always feel like that sounds bigger than, or it was going to sound bigger than it does. But yeah, I think the funniest thing that the keen-eared among you will probably hear, I'm thinking it's in the bell track.
Mario.
So let's if we had this will be a little test for the super fans here. We have the main motif that's been going the whole time. What gets added to it? There it is again. It may or may not be the Outliers guitar part. Just being a total music nerd for no reason. I'm just like, yeah, I might as well throw the clean part to our one hit into the background here amidst all this other stuff. Just bringing that motif again with the whoa. Making things happen. And then we get, what else we got? Oh. This is a nice one, actually. Gotta love some big chords. Is that all just the acoustic? That might be 4 guitars. It's like, just why not? Just that's probably just 2. Love that stuff. Just things for days. And then, of course, just your typical ambient stuff. Bringing back that melody. And my favorite part of the guitar layering stuff here is just like how thick this quad track ended up being. So we have 2 guitars kind of sustaining here. Coming in for that transition to that bark. Yeah, that slide up was something I came up with in the moment too. I just like how like there's 4 guitars and it's not perfectly tuned, so you get this like
verse. Yeah.
just giant ass thing. You know, yeah, big cosmic monster sound again. What you're bringing in the halftime with the bass synth. Just as big as we can possibly make everything. That was the point of this section. And yeah, last but not least, we got, before we get to the very, very outro, all this vocal gorgeousness.
We're out of time left to pretend. It's over now. That one of us could bring you back again. I had a hard time giving in.
That second to last phrase is one of my favorite melodies on the album.
A little like
That one right there. Yep.
Hard time giving in.
That's such a good fucking melody.
it's so good. I like how many times we'll like get antsy about like, should there be like a what do we articulation adornment, whatever the word, ornament, I guess, like those little like dips. I think Adam and I always call like, should there be a dip here, dip there? We're dipping everywhere. I'm like, dude, just dip on every note. It sounds fucking awesome. Like yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's like the first note's like head voice and then goes to like chest. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, there's it's like a falsetto kind of thing into
falsetto. Yeah. I love that shit when it like falls into the chest.
And of course, like, you know, I think a lot of these lyrics were like working ones as we were building it, and they gained more meaning as we build the song around it. But like, yeah, having a lyric like giving in be the one that you're switching from falsetto to like chest. I had a hard time giving it, like, or like just even that vowel sound of G, like, you know, giving in. It's a cool, albeit cliche, but like relevant lyric for the moment. That just like feels really fucking awesome to sing. So we're like balancing that too while trying to do all this stuff. Yeah, man, a lot of really, really cool melodies came out in this song, and I should have hoped so. After 9 minutes, we'd know what we're doing. We should get something nice out of after 9 freaking minutes. But yeah, let's see. So after we hit all these guys, actually, let's just give Richard a little bit of something. Oh, nice. I was just making sure it wasn't some like crazy elaborate run that we weren't hearing before, but we made it, folks. This is the big reveal. And already a lot is happening. Oh my gosh. In Guitarland alone, I wanted the downbeat, because it wasn't like vocal screaming or anything on the downbeat, to just have like some more chaos to it. So we have like our chords doing the harmony, but then we also have these like just noise layers just doing their thing. Let's see, is there another one? Yeah, it's just everybody's going nuts. At least that one's like one note, but yeah, thick guitar stuff, and then making the piano sound bigger than it ever has on any part of our album with the low A stuff. Again, so happy on its own. It's like, yep, everyone's pulling their way here, and then of course just big old drum sounds, and finally bringing it home with our reprise of prelude stuff. And because we called that earlier section the chorus, you know, we have what is it?
Can't afford to play again.
Met up at the end with
Can't afford to play again.
And yeah, what you'll actually notice here, now that like you guys have a handle on like the theming of like, this is that chorus section again, but just like opened up into this long or extended like epic. version of it. You might notice in the, let me see if I can make it a little bigger, like time signature stuff here. We have like some 4/4 and some 15/16 and some 3s and some 6 and leading into like some 6/8 and 3s and all this stuff. That's because I mentioned way earlier at the beginning of this chat that this section from, what is this, like bar 221 on, was the first thing that I demoed and wrote essentially for the album based on the melodies and stuff in this song. So that was based on the chorus version that had, what is this, 1, 2, 3 bars of 4 and a bar of 15/16. And for whatever reason, I was able to make like the turnarounds like make sense enough. It doesn't feel like, it feels like through composed in a way, but it's kind of like, it's not like if you don't hear it a couple times, you can't like be like, oh yeah, that's when that downbeat hits. Okay, cool. And so my goal with this was to take that idea of this 4/4 thing, and then what would it sound like if we went from da 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 to this kind of da 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 da, which has a very, again, we're bringing back that adventure metal thing. It's almost like a little capstone of everything that's happened on the album, because we got all the heavy stuff, but it's like happy, and we just did Coma, which was the epic happy or epic adventure metal kind of more melancholy thing with that adventure metal decada 12/8 6/8 here kind of feel. And by bringing that back, it just seemed like a especially because it's not a rhythm or a vibe used in this song at all, and you've been listening for this long, it's a cool like change up that feels nice and fresh to send you off to listen to other music when you're done with this song. But I was always a fan with how I was able to get the drum groove to like change from this. And it's funny how like the snares are seemingly random, but they're still like lining up with the hits of like the regular riff as it plays over, or is permutated over, whatever the word is, this like straight ahead groove. And you can almost hear James still keeping time on the other like polyrhythm kind of deal with this like pedal hat here. Which is just chaotic as heck. So if I was to just play just the drums, like bass and guitar, maybe, yeah, you'll hear kind of like the changeover. Oh, or how about just piano? Gosh, come on, Studio One. Bark. And it's so empty by itself. But yeah, this kind of riffing just reminds me a lot of like old contortionist stuff, but in a major key, which is just like so bizarre. I got my periphery moment. Chunk.
Chunky.
There we go. Misha, is that you? But yeah, leading into this stuff, this was my final chance to layer up guitar to Kingdom Come. So you get, what is this? You're like Circa Survive pretty shit, and then you're like country chicken picking kind of stuff. And then a more straight ahead kind of rock version of that. Yeah, there's all my reverse tricks again. feel like these were probably mixed up in the final mix a bit more, but just layering. Plus lots of pretty voicings. Basically trying to make this like film score, credits rolling kind of vibe. And then under all of that, we get Eric, as he was alluding to earlier, some lead stuff that has a bit more of that like thick, juicy sound to it, but it's the melody just now in a different like kind of permutation. It's pretty cool how it like that lines up with the drums and stuff. Just detuning some acoustics to make them work. Looks like everybody got in on that too. Oop, there we go. Some classic Aviations chorused guitar, bringing all that stuff home. And then, yeah, these are like pretty short-lived in the mix, but like gotta end it with our post-rock family. I think you can hear that just like hanging over on the piano stuff. But yep, our final layers is our flutes making yet another appearance. It's some hilarious synth work. Dude, I just like how like that's lining up with like your articulation of the riff too. This little like da 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 da.
Oh yeah, yeah, vibrato.
Yeah, it's so like well done too. Just the oh my gosh, so well played. And then I again like I'm harping on the tambourine, but it helps this like weird polyrhythm shit. Like you get like a good groove like this. With just a little bit of accent, it helps like drive home that change in feel. Yeah, that's the vibe. And then, of course, our final vocal layering section.
Give me wisdom, so
Yeah, that's
wow.
All of them are awesome. I love all of the layers and stuff we've done on this record, but like this, man, when we got to this part, I was just like, it needs to be the coolest thing I've ever fucking heard. And we got pretty close. It's that, like, again, the song has a lot of that, like, yes, we are in a choir in the church doing the thing, whatever, but like, this is basically every note in the key like possible, just like stacked out, but the way it like descends, you can still tell because of which voices were like pushed forward a little bit. that there is that like, we're a different kind. At least that's the melody that I'm trying to push forward.
We're all different kind.
It almost has that like fake orchestra hit type vibe of like,
We're all different.
oh yeah, we do, yeah, that like little jazz note at the end.
We're all different.
More like straight major 7 towards the end, but and then Adam just doing his thing.
We're all different kind.
Yeah. Lots of takes to get just like a nice, honest little tone. I even hear him doing like a little like voice crack kind of like.
We're all different kind.
That I don't always hear him doing to get that kind of vibe. But yeah, and then Richard played this one pretty faithfully, I think, as far as like the ending went. Just the littlest bit of reverb to like send that last note out into space. I like just letting this hang on a Spotify playlist or something, so people are just like, is it over? After they just experienced that. Yeah, and then just like put that on loop. Could you imagine if like, because we actually considered where does it start? Yeah, here, this whole section, like making this its own track. Like I remember Between the Buried and Me did that on Future Sequence. The last track was like kind of its own thing. Like the song resolves and they like play like a few bars of a section and then it just like rings out. So the song's only like 2.5 minutes, but it's mostly like just like kind of like ringing out stuff. So if like somebody accidentally had this separated track on like loop or something, it like gets through the song, plays through that, and then it just starts over 100 times. That's the way you want to listen to this music. Oops, all the notes. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, this is what happens when you write 10-minute songs and you want to put everything under the sun in them. You get this. Blink.
Slow clap.
Slow clap, everybody. Well, we did it, folks. I was keeping an eye on the clock and going a bit over, but just giving you the full, unabridged breakdown of all of this chaos. And look at all the freaking colors. I like, this is kind of like, well, yeah, but
I'm just kidding.
Hang on, I've been kidding. Like I can't see any waveforms or anything like this. When I play back a song, this is like what I want to see more. I feel like I should like have a setting on my keyboard to just make sure I'm never like staring at what like parts are on the screen, because I get so distracted by like looking at the waveforms of my guitar part that I just spent so much time on. What does it sound like? Maybe just, how about you listen and stop looking at it, and then you can maybe go to sleep instead of not sleeping for months and making an album. But anyway, that's the song. Let's hop over. Well, actually here, yeah, it's been an honor. I've seen for like already like pour one out for Luminaria. We did it. I'd ask, I'm like looking through, seeing if anybody was desperate for something towards the end. But yeah, I think I've been more than thorough, and just appreciate everybody, like, you know, hanging out and doing the thing. So here I'll switch back to our little talking screen, and I'm just like showing off the merch again. There we go. But yeah, man. Let's see, what missing button. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Thank you guys for hanging out and letting just me nerd out about music and all this stuff. We'll have to make another album to do this again, I guess. But yeah, like I said, we'll keep up with some other streams and see what happens. I know James said he wants to do some drum stuff. We can also do like more just general music production things. Eric and I will probably be working on guitar tone and like performance related stuff that we can share. But yeah, let us know what else you guys want to see, because we're just looking for more ways to be a band on the internet and do the music thing. And yeah, I think you guys are already calling out some other game streams too, because I'm always looking to just relax and play some Zelda with y'all. Or if you want to see Adam or Richard just totally dominate in Rocket League, you can do that as well. But yeah, for the 13 or so of you guys who are still here with us, thanks. I hope you're all in our Discord. If you're not, we miss you. And yeah, more updates on merch as we get them from our distributors. But CDs and shirts are in, so if you ordered just one of those, you should be getting some more information in the next few days. Just waiting for some of that to come through with our shipping person. And yeah, I think we've reached out to everybody who won our merch giveaway thing, which is now closed. Sorry that it just sent the link in there, but yeah, thanks for playing. We'll get you some free stuff, and it's a fun time. But yes, follow Champions Words and join the server. It is good for you. Build strong bones and all that jazz. But anyway, I think my voice is about to give out, so I'm probably gonna call it there. Eric, how you feeling? How you doing? How you been? How's life?
Excellent. I'm good, man. I'm really good.
I'm watching a sub icon go over the top of your head. Thanks, Sub Legend, for the sub. There you go. Sweet. But yeah, this has been super fun, and I'll say we'll see you next time. Next week on Thursday. We'll
we got Raid Finn, huh?
Oh, that's a pretty good idea.
Doing that?
That's something. That's something. And let me see. Is he chilling online right now? If I could not break everything,
He is, yeah.
There we go. Let's see if he notices. All right, folks. Let's do a little Finn raid. So we'll see ya. And if I press this button, I'm pretty sure this will work. So thanks for playing. Ready to raid in 5, 4. All right, I think it's working. See y'all later.